Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of our high school Central Texas Blitz. I'm Rick Cantu, joined by Thomas T.J. Jones. And Thomas, this is it. Final games of the regular season. Some really good ones. Let's start from the top. Let's go to some private schools. We haven't talked about the private schools. Hyde Park, Regents. What do you got?
Well, this is a battle for the district championship in this TAPS district that also includes some San Antonio area schools. Regents, they're undefeated for a reason. They're outscoring people 44-11 on average. Coach Breck Bryden has them playing really well. You know, Coach Bryden does a special teams for Regents. Some people don't know that, and that's why Regents is especially strong on special teams. And I think that'll be the difference when they play Hyde Park. Hyde Park is coming off a 27-7 loss to San Antonio Holy Cross, so they need to bounce back. But I think Regents just has too much firepower.
Dean Campbell has done a fantastic job rejuvenating the Hyde Park football team. They're 7-2 this year. They're going to finish 7-3. Let's face it. Beck Bryden, he's got Regents rolling 9-0. He's they're one of our top teams in our poll. Mm-hmm. Regents has not had a losing record since 2004. So I added it up and I came up with about 20 years in a row, something like that. 20 or 12.
About 12. But
okay, about 12.
I got your point.
But anyway, I like Regents, you like Regents.
Yeah.
Let's stay with the lower divisions. 2A, Thrall, Thorndale.
Great rivalry. If you walk from Thrall to Thorndale along Highway 79, you probably get to there in about, I don't know, a couple hours. It's close. It's about 6 miles separates those two towns.
And one stoplight probably between them.
If that. Now, Thorndale, they have a rich history. They won 3 state titles in the late 80s to the mid-90s. They've only had they've missed the playoffs 1 year in the past 12 years. And that was last year when they went 1-9. But Coach Scott Hawkins, they're bouncing back this year. They're 4-5. They're a good, tough team. But right now, Thrall is just playing at a different level. Thrall's only lost once all year. I think the Tigers win.
Wholeheartedly, the Tigers are going to win. Their only loss was to Normandy.
Yeah.
And actually, Normandy just totally outplayed them in that game. But you look at these two rivals. Yes, does Thorndale have a chance? Yes, they have a puncher's chance. Thrall has a better team. They're 8-1. They average 35 points a game. I like Thrall. You like Thrall. Let's go Bowie, San Marcos. Two teams having good years. Bowie, historically, could be good this year. San Marcos has been tough, though. What do you like?
Bowie has been dominant since they moved into this district once a realignment moved them away from Lake Travis and Westlake. If Bowie wins this, they'll win only their 3rd outright district championship in the school's history, which began in 1988. They're killing people. The closest game in district that they've had is a 16-point win over Manor. In comparison, San Marcos edges Del Valle by a late touchdown. They edge Manor by a field goal. They rally for a 48-47 win over Anderson.
A gritty Anderson team.
Yeah, so they know how to win, but they're playing awfully close. I think Bowie handles them.
As I said in the previous game, San Marcos, I think, has a puncher's chance. I don't think they're going to win, but they do have a fantastic player. Jamon Johnson, 18 touchdowns, one of the better running backs in Central Texas. But I look at Bowie, they're having a historically good year. If they can win this game and one playoff game, that would give them 10 wins for the first time in school history. 59-14 over Aikens last week. So, you know, they're just gouging teams now. Dalen Threadgill, 4 touchdowns in that game. Another outstanding running back in Central Texas.
A good balance on that team.
Let's jump to the other side of town. Georgetown, Connelly. Both have been sensational at times this year. What do you like?
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. You know, Georgetown, which has been in the state rankings, they could actually miss the playoffs if they don't win. You beat Connelly, you're in. You're fine. But there's a lot to play for, and Connelly's looking for a top D1 seed with the win. Look, Georgetown, we all know about quarterback Chandler Herman, receiver Bo Corrales. They can score on anyone. But can they avoid the turnover? Connelly has 23 takeaways this year. Okay, they blocked 3 field goals. They blocked a punt. They're a ball-hawking team, and they have the best dual-threat quarterback in the area in Robert Patterson that could find some room against Georgetown's defense. I like Georgetown, but it's going to be tight.
I like Jason Cecil, the coach for Connelly. I think he's a potential Coach of the Year candidate.
Good call.
8-1 for a team that had 3 losing seasons coming into this year. You got to give the Cougars a lot of credit, not just for being at this point, but being so much better than they were last year.
Yeah.
I look at Georgetown. I've seen them a few times, and they are world champions on offense.
Yep.
Their defense needs help. They give up about 28 points a game, but yet they'll outscore you, as they like to say in the business.
Yep.
And Bo Corrales still maybe the best receiver in town. He's going to Iowa, 69 catches, 12 touchdowns. I definitely think Georgetown's going to win this one. Last but not least, here's a sleeper game that everybody should be aware of. Hendrickson, Pflugerville. They both have losing records, but a lot on the line.
Yeah, these two crosstown rivals in Pflugerville. Look, I'm going to boil that district down to a nutshell. According to Dwayne Wyrick, the AD of District of Round Rock.
Absolutely.
If Pflugerville wins, or if they lose only by 1 point, Pflugerville will make the playoffs. Okay? If Hendrickson wins, they're going to make the playoffs. Simple as that. Now, Pflugerville's never beaten Hendrickson in the 4 years they've played, and the closest they've come was a 21-6 loss, I think, in 2014. I like Pflugerville. I think George Herman, veteran
the fighting
coach,
George Hermans.
The fighting George Hermans. I think they have enough to beat Hendrickson this year and get in the postseason.
I think the fighting Chip Killians are going to win this one. I like Hendrickson. I know they haven't had a good season by Hendrickson standards, but the last 4 years, make it 5 years, their record 44-14 coming into this season. They've lost some close games. They've got a lot of pride there. Their only problem is a defense that allows 32 points a game, but these are longtime rivals. The problem with Pflugerville is they only average 17 points a game on offense, so I expect a low-scoring, hard-hitting game. Let the chips fall where they may. You go with Pflugerville, I'm going with Hendrickson, and
I love that if running back Jalen Merriweather is healthy for Pflugerville and he missed the game against Westwood last week, he's a difference maker.
Well, that's going to wrap us up for our review of this week's great games. We're going to have some fun this weekend. And again, thanks for joining us on Statesman.com for the High School Blitz. Join us again next week when we review some games for the playoffs. The playoffs are happening soon.
Time.
Until then, Thomas and I would wish that your favorite team wins.